Haha, here we are with the one and only. It's the Kartsmeister, Murali Kartik. Kati, thanks for doing this. Do you know? Let me tell everybody out there. I often wonder how each of the guys who end up where they end up, how their journey goes, right? You wonder. And we were sitting in the car, weren't we? Driving to a game.
As we have always
As
done.
we do.
So many times.
So many times chatting.
Nearly ended up in Oman.
In Oman.
Instead of Dubai.
Instead of at the Ring of Fire, yes, because our driver wasn't it Salman?
Salman can never forget it.
Salman.
The linguistic Salman.
Sir, can you read the sign? Hey, that's a story for another day. Okay, so yeah, we were in Chennai. And of course, that's where you hail from. And in fact, you should say this because, yeah, and I say to all of you that the journey is different for absolutely everyone. Come on, you tell everybody what you told me because I found it fascinating that we're right there where it started for you.
Yeah, actually, funnily we were because we were staying at the Kanimara, which has been Kanimara for a long time. And I just brought back memories because as soon as you leave the hotel and it's right on the main road, which is a very famous road called the Mount Road in Chennai. And for someone like me who comes from a very, what should I say, a family of people who were more into studies than sports and not an ounce of sporting pedigree anywhere. I would say it's a bit strange that I ended up playing international cricket. And also for someone who thought that I was going to be a genetic engineer.
Yeah. That's also a story for another day because I know that. I know that bit, right? That's a story for another day.
Yeah. So we leave the hotel and immediately we touch Mount Road and it rekindles memories because there is this school called the Madrasa-e-Azam School. And that is exactly where I went for formal cricket coaching for the first time when I was 11 years old. And this happened to be the summer holidays. And I just played for my school. And my dad said, rather than sitting at home, why don't you go and do this? And my coach, Mr. M.K. Iqbal, he was there and it just rekindled memories for me. Yeah. And then all those memories of going to Chepauk after that.
Yeah.
And that was the first year when I actually attended something formal and then ended up attending the trials for Tamil Nadu under 12 and ended up being the standbys the first year.
Okay, there's someone at the door. So we'll pause and we'll come back in a second. Always getting visitors. It doesn't stop. I've put the do not disturb sign on. So hopefully
nobody disturbs.
But hey, that's not a guarantee. The doorbell could still ring. Anyhow, yeah, you're talking about how you then attended 13s, 15s, whatever, and that's all great. What you did tell me the other day though was when you went to Chepauk to watch a game.
Yeah.
And it was your granddad who took you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there's something about Kapil Paji there, eh?
No,
yeah.
It is interesting because I never thought I'll play cricket ever, let alone for the country. I never thought I'll ever play cricket at a competitive level. But it's just that as every Indian family, you do watch cricket, and I did watch cricket. And since we were so close, I was born bang opposite M.A. Chidambaram, all of us, in a nursing home, small nursing home, which is right off the MCC gates. And that's where we lived as well, not too far from there. So all those memories of walking to the Marina Beach or coming to the ground, and it was just a hop, skip and a jump away. So thinking of those days when India were about to leave for West Indies and the MCC side of it. So sometimes when we commentate, we're on the opposite side of it.
Yeah.
So the MCC side of it, it still has got that gap now.
You see, you see it from
that gap hasn't changed.
Sit,
With all the grandstands, that gap hasn't changed. And you could actually go up on top of the stand and watch them practice. And India were preparing for West Indies, so they were preparing with tennis balls soaked in water, and guys were not the sidearms of now or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but the old school water,
Yeah.
tennis ball dipped in water, and it just goes hard at you. And then once the practice finished, I can't think how I managed or
To
how
be
I managed
there.
to be
Yeah.
down there. And Kapil Paji was the first autograph, and I still remember as a kid those eyes looking at me,
Yeah.
and then giving me the autograph, and I can never forget it. And then you go to the opposite side, and now
Yeah.
you've watched the same man getting 100 against West
Yeah,
Indies.
yeah.
And then fast forward, and those were the old school benches, which were
Yes, yes.
worn down by heat, humidity, and all the rain. So if you sit, there could be chances that a slam goes up your skin. So imagine that, and now it's beautiful, the modern day Chepauk. And fast forward that to the time when it's the same man who's
Yeah.
your coach
Yeah.
when you make your test debut.
Yeah.
And then fast forward it to even more when you finish playing cricket, you're playing golf, and you're commentating with the same man right adjacent to the stand from where you watched him hit 100. And
Amazing.
you're working with him.
Amazing.
So it's surreal. It gives you goosebumps, and it makes you what should I say? Feel so humbled about so many things which happen in life. Sometimes we take them for granted,
Yeah.
but when you actually look at the nitty-gritty of it, there's a lot to it, and also it's a very humbling feeling.
Yeah. As I said at the start, right? Everybody's journey is different, isn't it? So many out there, Kartik, would kind of go, if you're in India, and I suppose the thought is valid. If you're in India, there are 1 billion people. If you're this youngster, and I mean, let's go back 30 years or whatever it is, and the thought would have been different because there would have been less that you would see. So for you, it would have been entirely different. For it to seem like an impossible dream would be the case. Now, the lights are there, you can see them. There's IPL like we're doing now, and it's always on. You see more of India, there's kind of more media. But it doesn't change that there are 1 billion people. In fact, more than that. And so it makes it still quite difficult. Talk about that as a journey and how people sort of relate to that and the dreams that people have for themselves sometimes. But those we don't hear. We hear of parents for their kids. I mean, stories like Rinku Singh, and yesterday we just watched Yashasvi Jaiswal's play so beautifully, and all with dreams of one day playing for India.
Yeah, 100%. But the thing is, we also see only the minuscule, isn't it? We don't see the number of people who fall by the wayside. We see a couple of, success stories and guys who have literally come through every possible nook and cranny and crack, not gone down, but come up through those cracks, through those cracks. And then you sometimes wonder what makes you tick. And I think sometimes it's destiny, you can call it, hard work, all the effort that you put in, and good karma, I suppose. If you have to, as you said, one day after playing my first test match in 99, and I was driving and I was thinking about it. I said, what is it? The enormity of the situation that out of 1.3 billion, you are the 225th guy to play for India in Test cricket. So it makes you feel happy for a fleeting second, but it also tells you that, look, there are so many other external factors at play. It's like what you mentioned during breakfast. So yes, there are reasons why you're preferred. There are reasons why you might not be preferred, and it's not the perfect formula for it. And that is also something which has happened to me over the years, is that people always used to ask me, why were you so aggressive on the field? And I sometimes think of it as being a bit of a feeling of inadequacy as a cricketer.
Right.
I always used to feel that I'm not good enough compared to others. I looked at every spinner or every cricketer and I thought that, these guys are so much better than me. And maybe made up for it by being something else. I thought I had to be this mongrel on the field to have an extra edge over somebody rather than believing that I was good enough. So always that feeling of inadequacy. So even when I played or after I played for India, and especially after having retired, I always think that maybe I never deserved to play for India. There were so many million others because of that enormity of the situation you talk about.
1.3 billion
Exactly.
people.
So it could be. I'm coming to it because it could be. You
Yeah.
never know. We are all talking about Yashasvi Jaiswals or the Rinku Singhs and so many others. It could be that in spite of all this, they might not get to play for India.
Shit. Yeah, this is so true.
So that is what I'm coming to. So maybe I was lucky. That's what hit me. Once
Yeah.
I finished playing, once I got dropped, or once I hung up my boots in 2014, when you have time to introspect and when you think of what happened and what didn't happen or what could have been, then you get to a situation where you think, oh, maybe it's easy to paint a picture for yourself. For everyone,
Yeah.
that you were hard done by, or this happened, or that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
But the reality of the matter is that maybe you never deserved to be there in the first place.
Yeah.
Maybe there were others who should have been there, and you got a chance. So be grateful for it. And that's why I feel that with all the competition now,
Yeah.
and with all the headlights being on everyone,
Yeah.
it's not a guarantee that these guys will make it.
Yeah.
And even if they make it, they'll be there for a long time. So that's the kind of competition or the world we are living in. So very difficult. You see a Yashasvi Jaiswal, a Rinku Singh, great stories. It's heart-rending, it's inspirational and it brings a tear to your eye.
Yeah.
But there are a million other stories possibly worse off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are so many kids who fall through the cracks, and there are so many kids, because of persistence, resilience, conviction,
All of
they
those
come
things.
through those cracks.
They swim upstream
Yep.
and they make it there. They jump out the water like a salmon. Anyhow, that's how we'll finish, actually. A wonderful story, buddy.
Cheers.
Thanks so much. Yeah, just, trying to find some story. And they just come to you, don't they? We're sitting there chatting. Some of the time, I wish we would have a camera at breakfast. But then the stories wouldn't come, would they?
We would have to edit.
Yeah. We'd have to edit those stories. No edits here. Right. Catch you next time. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Ciao.